Hello there. Do you like Chinese men hitting each other with sticks? Or Korean men hitting each other with sticks? Or Taiwanese men hitting each other with sticks? Well, you're in the right place, because this is Asian men hitting each other with sticks.
Hooray!
Ychyfus, the Kung Fu film podcast with me, Clive Davis, and my valiant companion,
Mr. Darren Jones.
All right, Darren, how goes it?
Hi, all right, thank you.
Hmm.
Yes, I've got a Kung Fu cat on my chest today. You may have noticed.
Very nice.
Yes.
Yes, our remit is old school Kung Fu, more or less, with a few deviations here and there. And this episode's double bill is Hwang Jang-Lee as director. So we're going to be doing Hitman in the Hand of Buddha, old favorite of ours and many others.
Yep.
And a first watch for me, at least. I'm not sure about you. CANTON,
yes, same.
VIPER. Yeah, or Guangdong VIPER.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got more to say about CANTON VIPER than Hitman in the Hand of Buddha, I must say. But yeah, we're going to get to that, aren't we?
Yeah, well, interesting as well. So we were talking about this before, how over the years it's changed. So, for instance, people don't say Liao Chalang anymore; they say Agalang, and and it seems as if the tide has turned as well. So Hwang Jang-Lee is no longer Hwang Jang-Lee at the Hong Kong Movie Database now. It's Hwang Jeong-ri, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Although apparently his real name is Hwang Tai-su.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't quite understand the name change, but it must be a Korean or even a Hong Kong kind of foible, mustn't it?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's him retrieving his Korean name as opposed to the Chinese-sized, how would you say that? Hong Konganized version. Anyway.
Yeah, drawing a blank.
Someone cleverer than us, let us know how you would say that. So now he is Hwang Jeong-ri, because he is ethnically Korean, right? But if I'm remembering correctly, born in Osaka, is that right?
Yeah, well, born in Japan is what I found. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he just born there, and then pretty much transported there back to Korea when he was a baby.
Right. And of course, famously, hard as fuck, basically, is what we know.
Yeah, yeah. One of the few Hong Kong stars or Kung Fu Korean stars who has actually killed someone.
Right, and of course, famously taught the Korean army Taekwondo at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As an instructor.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't want to be messing with. To be honest, I'm a little bit nervous even doing a podcast about some of his films, just in case he takes his shoe and comes round and hits me, because he is still around.
I used to follow, well, I still actually do follow. Hwang Jang-Lee had a Facebook page, and he would occasionally, and it's all about his kind of martial arts studio, his martial arts school,
right?
And he would occasionally have sort of pictures of him. I remember there was a picture of him at some museum or other, I assume, on a comically large phone. So, like a phone an old-fashioned phone where the receiver's like that big.
Ah, right, yes.
And it's a picture of Hwang Jang-Lee on the phone going, oh! Look how big this phone is.
The softer side.
Exactly, yeah. And there'll be various kind of things. Or if you want to join this year's class or whatever, it would be all that, this, that, and the other. And there would often be, not many, but often be sort of pictures of an incredibly young looking, for someone in his mid or late 70s, Hwang Jang-Lee, just smiling and being jovial, which I quite liked.
Yeah, it's interesting as well because that plays into our first film, Hitman in the Hand of Buddha, as well, which we'll discuss more detail. But just to preempt, not a problem I have with the film at all, because I actually very much enjoy it, but the one element of it which slightly doesn't quite work, not that it matters, but is because he plays someone who goes from a bit of a naive innocent. I don't quite buy that because he's so embedded in my head as just someone you don't fuck with.
Yeah.
I have slight difficulty, buying him as that. Like, for me, he works best as evil incarnate, really, doesn't he? That's his.
Yeah, or just kind of hard incarnate, really.
Yeah.
Because in most of his villain roles, one of the things that I think he does quite well is cruelty.
Right.
It's because he has this kind of vibe. He has this kind of stare, doesn't he, when he's playing a villain, where it's like, not only am I going to break all your bones, I'm going to step on them afterwards as well. He has that. That's the kind of look he gives you.
I'm going to make you eat your own bones.
yeah. Like a giant. Yes. But also this Facebook page, and I'm sorry to rant about this, but I used to really, really enjoy seeing
on your own head, be it if you're going to rant against Hwang Jang-lee. Hwang, this is all Darren. Don't come round my house and kick me in the face.
Well, I may actually get in a lot of trouble for this.
Okay.
But you like it when I go a little bit off piece, don't you, Clive?
I do. Yeah.
The viewers like it anyway.
Yeah.
All 4 of them.
Yeah.
So I follow this page on Facebook,
and
I love seeing pictures of Hwang Jang-Lee on his phone, on his big phone.
Yeah.
Right? And talking about his martial arts school and stuff.
Is it the main discipline? Is it a Taekwondo school? Or?
Yeah, it's Taekwondo Tang Soo Do, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's whatever he's good at, which I think is Taekwondo and Tang Soo Do. So anyway, about 3 or 4 months ago, all of a sudden there's nothing on Hwang Jang-Lee, and just this young bloke advertising his kind of modelling singing services. And I'm a bit nervous. I will do one day. I'll get drunk one day, and I'll get really, really annoyed with it whilst drunk. Right. And I'll have to go on there and say, I don't want to see this bloke.
Tally £2.50.
Sign tally £2.50. I gweld dyn yn neud.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, it's just like this.
He's not even doing martial arts. It's not like a young.
No, it's like someone. They may be famous already. I don't know, but it's like someone who's an aspiring model and canto pop star and actor.
Oh, okay.
Who doesn't seem to be anything to do with Hwang Jang-Lee. Now, in the back of my head, is it his son or something?
Right. Yeah, is it his son or grandson? Or
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't quite worked it out. But anyway, I just wanted to vent my frustration to the viewers that that this used to be a joyous occasion, and now every time I see it, I get angry.
Right. Someone spoiled your fun.
That's exactly. My fun was spoiled. And now I have to scroll down through all these pictures to see the big film.
Do you know, is he in Hong Kong, Korea, the States? Where is his?
It's Korea.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you where, but it's. I mean, I could probably pull it up. No, if you distract.
I don't want to upset you.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Hwang Jeong-ri fans. I think that's it. Oh no, that's a different page. Never mind. I'll find it later on.
Right. Never mind. It's fine.
Yeah.
Did a picture with words. It's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So whoever's in charge, sort it out. More Hwang Jang with big phones, less whoever this bloke is going. How did he do it again, Darren? There we go. I see, we could do that.
Exactly. I'm actually way prettier.
Well, I haven't seen the fellow, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, there are few who aren't prettier.
Well, I mean, it's not for us to say, but yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. But we try and overcome that. Yeah. That's why we give you this nonsense before we actually get in. Yeah. yeah. We give you the little preamble because we know you need to acclimatize to our radiance.
Yes, it's a bit blinding, really, I would have thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or have a quick wank.
Yeah. Have it not me and Darren, I think we both are speaking for Darren. We don't mind. Go for it.
Don't mind at all. Well, I mean, now that we've both gone, we've encouraged it, really, haven't we?
I think so. I think
asking for it.
Let's give them, because sometimes it takes a while to get up the hill. Let's give them a good 10 seconds then.
Oh yeah. So finish now, because we're just about to start talking about less attractive people.
Come on then, come on.
Hang on. Bit of just jiggle a bit. Jiggle.
Yeah, us too.
Jiggling.
I think they've probably arrived at the station by now.
Yeah. Yeah, either that or they finished throwing up. So
this episode has taken a strange turn, Darren. So anyway,
I'm not even drinking.
And that might be the problem. Right. Hwang Jang-Lee then.
What about this film then?
Hitman in the Hand of Buddha. 1980 or 81. It seems to have been released in 81. So I'll have a bit to say here about so I went over to the Korean movie database to look this up and some information on it. Confusingly, so the Korean title for this film is In Muga In, I think. I don't know what that means, but the English title for it on the Korean movie database is confusingly The Swordsman.
With no swords in.
There's
not a single sword in it.
No, not one. Not even a glimpse of one. Not even behind someone's chair or something.
No.
An odd, strange title, but that's the English title over at the Korean movie database. Yes. So the confusion with this one. So first of all, which version or versions did you watch, Darren?
I watched the Korean version, which was 93 minutes.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So I watched a side-by-side comparison of the Korean version and the shorter 72-minute version, which are both up on Wu-Tang. And I was thinking as well, Darren, we should probably, because we've mentioned it so many times in passing, the Wu-Tang collection, of course, but I don't think we've ever stopped and just said that Wu-Tang collection is hands down one of the finest YouTube channels that's ever existed. And whoever's behind it, thank you. It's brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's decades worth of entertainment on that channel. There are hundreds and hundreds of films on there.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely mixture, because you can, if you're looking for, usually kind of non-Golden Harvest, non-Shaw stuff. But if you're looking for a good time with, the Hot, the Cool, and the Vicious, you can find that, or any number of very famous sort of foo flicks, but also want to see something from 1971 that you've never heard of,
right? With
actors you've never heard of.
Yeah,
that's where you get that.
Yeah, or Taiwanese fantasy from the 60s or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I mean, we draw on Wu-Tang. Sorry,
Yeah, in a ropey print with no subtitles, or but as best as you can get it, right?
Yeah, but we draw on that not only for Ychyfus, but we also draw on it for the Shaws and the Not in Shaws podcast.
Yeah.
Well, so there's so much on there, and I mean, if only that technology were available in the 90s when we were kicking off. Right.
No, it's a fantastic resource. It's kind of mind-boggling to think that all that is just at your fingerprints for free. And if it were to suddenly disappear one day as well, which is always a possibility, that would be big trouble.
It would. We would be devastated.
Yes.
So yes, if you don't currently, and you're into the old school, then have a look at the Wu-Tang collection on YouTube, and there's no way you'd be disappointed.
No, and what I like about it as well is if there's something up there and then there's another version that comes along which is in some way different or preferable, like there's suddenly a wide version, or even there's a different language dub or a different length or something, that goes up there as well, right?
Yeah.
No,
so it's very, very good indeed.
It's an excellent service.
Mm.
So anyway, so they're both at the side by side comparisons. I will say from the beginning, the majority of the differences between the two films are kind of a moot point. They don't make a massive difference to your overall. There's like, bits. It's mostly, bits of business, like with the rice sellers, or there's a bit more stuff of To Soo-min going to a brothel, or although every now and again certain fight scenes have been shortened by a little bit.
Well, you can see, and it's very easy if you watch the Korean version, it's very easy to see the join between, it's particularly in the fights, because the fights are different quality,
right,
than in terms of film, picture quality, from the the released, or the Western release version.
Right. Well, I was watching a HD version as well, of the shorter version, which I think is from a German source.
Okay. Didn't know that existed.
Yeah. So the reason I bring it up is because if you do want to watch this film in HD, I would say go ahead and relax and feel that you're not really missing that much. Even though 20 minutes sounds like a lot, you're not really missing that. And I don't just mean in terms of you're not missing much action. I just mean in terms of enjoyment levels, or you're still getting you're still getting the main thrust of the story and everything. There's much extra there. You're
not missing any of those cool triple kicks that he does.
No. Although it is weird when you think of it, because 72 minutes is an odd running time to arrive at. I do like, if they'd have cut out all the extraneous talking stuff that doesn't really make much of a difference, but the fights were left intact, I would understand that. I find it weird that they trimmed, because they trimmed some of the fights, like not just at the beginning and the end, like in the middle. There's like a few seconds.
And it's like 5 seconds or something that they trimmed. It teaches the Korean for 5 seconds.
And it's not anything contentious. It's not like a gory bit, or like someone using nunchaku, or it's nothing like that.
No.
So I don't understand why they were snipped.
Well, I mean, I've got an idea, and as I was watching the final fight, I was starting to get a bit numb to it.
Oh, so you think it was pacing?
I think it could have actually been pacing,
Oh, right, okay. And also,
I'm not complaining. I am not complaining.
No,
I'll have all the Hwang Jang-Lee versus Eddie Cole that I can get.
But... but using the phrase numbing though, you would lead me to believe that you think maybe the shortening does a service to the film.
Well, I didn't watch them back to back this time. I have seen the 72-minute version before, and I have watched them back to back. I did do that back in the 90s,
right?
But I hadn't done it for this,
right?
But I think that there's a good chance that it zips along better without the Korean version of the fights.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Well, for me at least, it's like I've seen the longer version now. I know what's in it. But if I'm going to bang this on for entertainment in future, I've got a nice HD of the shorter one, so I'm probably going to go with that. I mean, if there was a HD of the longer one as well.
Great.
Yeah. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen, right?
No. But so who's in it then, Clive, and what happens?
Well, Hwang Jang-Lee's in it, of course. Yeah, and like we said, he's playing slightly against type as a nice fellow drifting into town, and he's looking for his sister, played by Kwak Eun-kyung, I think her name is, who is married to To Soo-min, who is clearly punching above his weight.
Oh, he's a right catchy, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes.
You know, and he can't even do kung fu in this.
No. And
so it's not like it's really hard or anything.
No, you don't have to wonder what he's in him.
Maybe he has got a colossal schlong.
It could be, or he's just a nice fellow.
He does come across as a nice fellow, actually. Bit annoying.
Cheating on her, going to brothel.
Yeah, which she doesn't seem to mind about anyway.
No, she's quite open-minded about all that, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, don't all men go to brothels?
Yeah.
Every now and again?
Yeah, it is quite a funny scene, actually, isn't it? Because, well, not funny, ha-ha, but an unusual scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Hwang Jang-Lee comes in and he's like this the moral backbone of the film, kind of, really. He's a very righteous person, isn't he?
Mm.
And he's the brother of brother-in-law of To Soo-min.
Yeah.
And he's kind of berating him in front of his wife for going to the brothel, and she's going, well, everyone does it. There we are, he's admitted it now, it's all right.
Yeah.
So it's like she's sort of getting Hwang Jang-Lee to climb down off his moral high horse. Well, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it is odd. It is unusual. Yes, so anyway, To Soo-min works for a rice seller, right? And there's a rival rice shop, I guess, that's doing better business because it's giving away lottery tickets, and you can win anything from a gold bar to some barbecue chicken or barbecue pork or something, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. So
then to be fair, they are the ones in the wrong in the first place, because they sabotage the other. They do something. Do they sabotage like their weighing scales or something? So
no, I think So I think they've got some. They've got some dodgy weighing scales, I think.
Right.
And they convince their rivals' customers that with a dodgy weighing scale that they're being shortchanged on the weight of rice that they're buying. I think that's what I thought they were doing.
Right. Well, anyway, they kind of give their business a bad name, and this is run by the bad guys, even though they didn't do anything wrong, in the Lee Bike, and it's Lee I-jung, who's To Soo-min's boss, right? And so the nominal bad guys decide, okay, we're gonna hire someone to basically beat them up, right?
Yeah.
So they hire first. It's Tino Wong, isn't it? Well, first actually they get the wrong guy. There's some bloke who's a snake killer.
Yeah.
Gets confused in an odd bit of business. But anyway, they finally settle on. Is it? Yeah, it is Tino Wong, isn't it? Yeah,
it is Tino Wong. Yeah. Snake.
Yeah. And then then Hwang Jang-Lee ends up kind of working at this rice shop, or at least he's part of their larger gang, right? Because obviously brother-in-law works there and stuff. And so eventually Hwang Jang-Lee has to face off against Tino Wong. So then Tino Wong brings in, well, I don't know if he brings him in, he kind of comes into it anyway, right? The tiger, and this is the big bad, this is Eddie Ko.
Yeah. But the reason Eddie Ko comes in is because Hwang Jang-Lee kicks the shit out of Tino Wong.
Yes.
Who's been hired to kick the shit out of them, the other rice shop. So he's humiliated his boss, Eddie Ko.
Yes, but there's also the other thing as well, isn't it? Because Fan Mei Sheng has, again, seeing Fan Mei Sheng as, well, he's like a Fagin-like character, isn't he? He's got all these kids out pickpocketing for him and stuff. And they pickpocketed from the tiger, from Eddie Ko, and he tries to put because he recognizes, because they're kind of old friends, rivals, right? And he tries to give his watch back. And so they have a whole, Eddie Ko seems to somehow be in awe of Fan Mei Sheng's skills to a certain extent. Even though we don't really see much Fan Mei Sheng action.
No. It's an interesting one with Fan Mei Sheng as well, isn't it? I want to get to the bottom of Fan Mei Sheng, whether or not he actually can do the business,
right?
In terms of picking opera, kung fu, whatever.
Because I feel as if I've seen him doing it.
Yeah, well, he does it a bit in this, although it could easily be a double.
Right.
In a lot of stuff.
Right. Yeah, because he's got
he's in so much fu. Yeah. But he's in so much kung fu and doing so much kung fu, at least his characters in the various films he's in.
Yeah.
It makes me think, oh, maybe he is kind of trained, and maybe he is that, and he never had a vehicle, or, you know. I don't know.
At least one we haven't seen yet. I mean, maybe there is a Shang film we've yet to let us know if you know. Yes, so, and then the Tiger and Tina Wong end up raping the sister.
Yeah.
She then kills herself, and later on, To Soo-min gets killed as well. But Hwang Jang-Lee doesn't know about this because Fan Mei-sheng, spoilers, by the way, as always, Fan Mei-sheng convinces him to get out of town so the Tiger doesn't kill him, because Hwang Jang-Lee is not yet up to the task of fighting Tiger. So he goes to a monastery.
Which is strange, actually. Just a little aside. So there's a little bit of a kind of plot hole here, because Hwang Jang-Lee can more or less beat Fan Mei-sheng in a fight, because they have a little fight at the start where they first meet, and Hwang Jang-Lee gets pickpocketed. And Eddie Ko is wary of getting in a fight with Fan Mei-sheng.
Yeah.
Yet Hwang Jang-Lee can kind of beat him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not
maybe he's hedging his bets.
It's not the most solidly constructed narrative.
No, I mean, the plot is by the numbers. This is this is the most basic of plots.
Although, having said that, I appreciate that in this film, because it is just, here we go, off you go. It's like
straight up.
There's beats, and that's all you need. So he goes off to the monastery. They do the whole, seems as if he's being ignored, while, you know, the whole time he's, you know, learning stuff that he doesn't realize that he's, you know, all that kind of stuff.
The usual.
Yes, the usual. And then it's back to town, and it's time to find out that his sister and his brother-in-law have been killed, and it's time to kick the shit out of Eddie Ko. And to be fair, because I think Eddie Ko as well is one of those interesting people who you know, he's obviously very, very familiar, but I think in general people tend to think of him as more of an 80s, 90s action screen presence than from the Kung Fu days. Right?
Yeah.
But he was working through the 70s.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, again, we might not have seen it, but I feel as if he didn't get many vehicles as a card like this.
Well, I think as well is that I think he's famous in a different way in Hong Kong than he is anywhere else, in that he's predominantly a TV personality,
right,
or TV actor, which is how he gets the gig in Duel to the Death, I think, isn't it? Because Jing Kong starts in telly, and then, or starts in shows and then goes to telly, and then that's how he gets to make Duel to the Death. Right.
Yeah, because if you look at his credits prior to that, like because obviously the industry changes, so there's not that many Kung Fu films to be in. So prior to that, the Kung Fu films he's in, he's not necessarily the star or the big villain, right?
Yeah.
Again, I don't know, because I'm looking at his filmography actually, and there's actually quite a lot of things I haven't seen, so I might be wrong about that. It might be that I haven't come across him, but anyway. Yeah. The reason I brought it up though is it's worth mentioning that if you're sharing screen time with Hwang Jang-Lee and you have to appear to be the more imposing, scary figure, fair play, Eddie Ko pulls it off.
Definitely pulls it off. Yeah. There's something about Eddie Ko that is frightening in a different way.
Yes,
to Hwang Jang-Lee, and there's something of a, and it might be just, probably the first film I saw with Eddie Ko was Thunder and Mantis, which we're going to do soon.
Oh yes.
But there's some sort of depravity right? With Eddie Ko, and Eddie Ko is like evil. You know, when he's playing a villain role, he kind of, for me, he kind of projects just outright evil, you know, and unscrupulousness, and possibly some sort of perversion as well, which is not overt in this film at all. And
Oh,
I'm
not
probably
in this one, no. In this one, he's a more rational kind of bad guy.
Yeah. But he's still, that's still, there's still this sort of sense of horror and menace around Eddie Ko when he's got his sort of evil game face on.
Right. Oh no, he's definitely he is a great villain in general. Yeah. I think we don't necessarily think of him as an old school kung fu villain, right?
No.
But again, that could be maybe just a gap in our viewing. So that's that's pretty much, that's the plot of Hitman in the Hand of Day, and made by Hwang Jang-Lee's own production company, apparently. Yeah. And so as far as I can tell, it seems like he co-directed it, right?
Yeah.
With this guy Park Yoon-gyo, who also directed Eagle versus Silver Fox.
Yeah, I saw that.
The Hwang Jang-Lee joint.
Yeah. It's not a memorable film. It's not something that I've seen it. Yeah. It's not, nothing leaps out at me as particularly good about that.
No, I don't remember much about it either. Choreography credits going to Korean Kwai, who turns up, Mang Hoi, who also turns up.
Yeah.
Cheng Sang, who would have been directing Lion versus Lion over at Shaw about this time.
Yeah.
And of course, Hwang Jeong-ri himself, right? And so what do we think of Hitman in the Hand of Buddha then?
Well, talking about choreography, I mean, everything in this film, apart from one little pole fight early on, is on point.
Yeah.
Bang on, shapes everywhere, tight as fuck.
Yeah.
Brilliant choreography. And intricate as well.
You
know, because you've got, early on, you've got the whole, is it Fan Mei Sheng? No, I think it's Tina Wong. They do the whole kind of dirty whole kind of, you know, Jackie Chan bit with, you know, pouring a drink and you know, and they do the whole kind of, oh well, we're just having a meal really, but actually we're fighting each other, do that whole thing. Right. And there's lots of flips and there's lots of kind of, you know, very intricate acrobatic stuff. And yeah, Hwang Jang-Lee is definitely doubled in some of the flips. But as far as the fights go, exciting, interesting, hard as nails.
And pretty much throughout as well, right? It's not any non-action breaks in it.
No, it's wall to wall.
Especially in the 72-minute version.
Yeah. End fight is up there. You know, that pole fight, and then just the kind of, well, you know, anything Hwang Jang-Lee does is triple kick in is always good. But this is a particularly good version of it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a showcase, isn't it? Like, it's interesting. Yeah, obviously being the director and everything, he does make himself the hero as well, which, like we said, isn't really his forte, but he's just so much fun to watch, you know. That it doesn't really.
Well, he doesn't do a bad job of being a hero.
No, it's not awful. It's not like laughable. I think it's just I know.
Yeah.
Him when, you know, I identify Hwang Jang-Lee as a little son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's us, not him, isn't it? You know, he's doing a really good job at being a hero.
Yeah.
It's just his fucking Hwang Jang-Lee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So in the cast as well, hiding in there, is Won Jin, right?
Yeah.
Would later go on to be the Scorpion King guy. Kind of interesting. He's not in it much.
No.
And so speaking of the cast as well, so it's quite so I was trying to figure out. So I think what I've come down on is I think this was predominantly a South Korean production that was given a different edit for Hong Kong and international. I think that's probably about the size of it, right? Because
but I mean the amount of Hong Kong talent in it, you know, which is obviously a product of Hwang Jang-Lee working in Hong Kong for so long,
Yeah.
and then coming home and bringing the talent with him.
But not as many as there are. I mean, there's a lot of Korean people in this.
Of course, yeah.
Especially like when you go, and again, I didn't know these people. This was me looking it all up, but and adding a lot of new lists. And like, because the thing is, a lot of these people, if you look at their credits on the Hong Kong movie database, they'll have like a dozen or so titles, or half a dozen or something, because those are the films that got released with English dubs via. So they end up, historically, they end up kind of being labeled as Hong Kong films, even though they're not, right? But they're on the Hong Kong movie database.
Yeah.
But then when you look at those people's corresponding filmographies on the Korean movie database, they're like 10 times longer, right? They're like
no doubt.
loads of things.
So
I'm quite interested to discover more. So if a good example of this as well. So Hwang Jang-Lee's brother is in this, right? Chun-Soo, who apparently, if you want to see them fighting each other, you want to see Duel of Ultimate Weapons, apparently.
Oh, right, okay.
And brothers against each other. But again, that's like something I wouldn't necessarily have he's got a much longer, he didn't have necessarily the international career his brother did. It was a bit more Korean. And there's a lot of people who, like, for instance, in the monastery, a lot of the people playing the monks, and a lot of those people are, Korean performers.
And that's the thing is, this boom was happening, the Kung Fu boom, or the martial arts boom, was happening at the same time in Korea as it was happening, in Hong Kong, in Japan, in everywhere else.
Right.
And all we really know is Dragon Lee and Hwang Jang-Lee and a few other names. But there must be depths to plumb and good shit to plumb as well.
Hats off, by the way, I don't know if you noticed this, for a lot of these Korean performers actually on the Hong Kong movie database, and these have only been written this year, I think. There's some very knowledgeable fellow on the Hong Kong movie database called J.J. Hayden. If you are, please get in contact with us. I tried going and seeing if I could find him on Facebook or something, but I wasn't. But whoever this the initials J.J. Hayden, J.J. Hayden, his mini biographies of some of the Korean people here on the Hong Kong movie database are invaluable and fascinating. There's and they've only gone up recently, so we wouldn't have been privy to them before, and really
well, and
good info.
And on that topic, we sang the praises of Wu-Tang Collection. Hong Kong, we would be completely lost without the Hong Kong movie database as well.
Yes, yeah.
So and they do offer like donations. So you can give them a donation to help fund their activity. So we would recommend that.
Yes, and increasingly as well, the Korean movie database, part of the Korean Film Archive as well, which has its own channel on YouTube. And they put up some nice prints of some of their films, remastered with English subtitles. There's not much in the way of Fu up there. There's a few, but there's some classic Korean films up there as well, which I would recommend checking out. So here's the thing then. So here's the interesting bit. So there's one of these characters, one of these guys who I hope to find out more about in the future in this film is a guy called Park Hui-jin, right? So Park Hui-jin, when we talked about Ninja in the Dragon's Den, Park Hui-jin is the guy who replaced.
Oh, he's the weepy man
in the Korean cut of Ninja.
Oh, I didn't clock that. Yeah.
And further, and this is fascinating because if you remember, the other weird thing about the Korean cut of Ninja in the Dragon's Den, considering that he is Korean, is that the finale with Hwang Jang-Lee was removed.
Yeah.
And replaced with that weird stuff with someone in a cave.
Skeletons and caves and
So I'm not sure because I haven't had a chance to go back and watch it, but either he's the man in the cave or maybe, I can't remember, was there another main bad guy in the Korean version? But whoever the main bad guy in the Korean version is Hwang Jang-Lee's brother, Hwang Jeong-ri.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, they are. Okay. Oh, we should have spotted that for when we did Ninja and the Dragon's Den, really, didn't we? Yeah. Oh,
yeah, well, like I said, some of this information is pretty fresh, right? So
yeah.
I wouldn't have been even up there when I got that straight from this J.J. Hayden fellow.
Yeah. Nice addendum, actually.
Yeah. So I hope he writes some. Well, I hope to get in contact with this J.J. Hayden man and know and find out why he knows as much as he does, and is he writing a book or a blog or something?
Yeah. Cool. Okay, there's something for the future.
Yeah. J.J. Hayden, you're quite welcome to come on as a guest as well.
Please do.
Cool. Right. Do we have anything else more to say about? I mean, I suppose we should. It is considered. Well, it's considered. Was this one of the? So when this turned up on either Made in Hong Kong or Eastern Heroes.
Eastern Heroes, yeah.
Eastern Heroes in the 90s.
Yeah.
Was it one of the like long lost, unseen for decades titles, or?
I remember there being a lot of hype about it.
Yes, and me.
I can't say that it. They were calling it lost necessarily. But what I would say is that when they went on to DVD, they released both versions on DVD, as in one disc. So that would have, I imagine that would have been new. But whether they did it on the VHS, I'm not sure what they put out on VHS.
I don't think they would have done that on the VHS. I think that would have.
No, well, you couldn't really. I don't think. No. But but the Eastern Heroes DVD, if you want to go traditional media, has both versions. Right.
It's so for me, I think Hitman in the Hundred Buddha stands up as I mean, it's not top tier.
No,
but it is pretty thoroughly exciting all the way through, balls to the wall, old school minor classic.
Definitely. And I think it's going to be on your radar anyway. I think if you've seen enough Hwang Jang-Lee or you've seen enough old school kung fu, it's going to be on your radar even if you haven't seen it. And you should see it.
You should, absolutely.
But the reason you need to see it is because fucking Hwang Jang-Lee is at the top of his game in it.
Yeah, well, he's in control of everything, isn't he? So
yeah. But he's also, but the thing, well, he's in control of the next film we're going to discuss as well, and they're chalk and cheese, But it's Hwang Jang-Lee at the top of his game, in control, but with some real top tier Hong Kong choreographers.
Right.
And that's the difference. That's the difference, or primary difference between the two films for me.
Well, let's move on then. Let's go to so next on our double bill, Canton Viper or Guangdong Viper or Guangdong Salmusa from 1983, and this one is a brief 76 minutes, right? Don't be fooled, because originally we thought, oh, this is the same deal. There's another version on YouTube which is longer, but it's not actually. It's just loops some bit. The file is longer. It may be 1 or 2 minutes longer, but that could be a frame rate thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's this one's long enough. It does its job in the 76 minutes.
Absolutely. I don't think I'd want to see a longer version. Brevity is the friend of Canton Viper, I think.
It's fine as it is. Yeah.
So again, directed by Hwang Jang-Lee. I suppose that so this is the two kung fu films. He later directed a like a gangster film, didn't he, called Emperor of the Underworld? Which is also on.
I could have a look at it. Is it?
Yeah, no subtitles.
That's all right.
Yeah, but it's up there. Him again. And this definitely, no doubt about it, this one's Korean all the way, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any non-Koreans in this, are there?
No.
And what's the
good subs as well, by the way. Good subs on both films actually on Wu-Tang.
Yeah. What's the because I think this one was a bit of a lost one for a while, wasn't it? Until again, not the greatest print in the world, but the best you're going to see for the time being.
Yeah, it's pretty washed out actually, isn't it? It's horrible.
But really good stuff. Like and particularly, I was impressed by they subbed the credits well.
Yeah.
In the same way as like if you've ever watched stuff on from what's that label that puts out lots of Japanese stuff on and they they list everyone like lighting and camera and
yeah.
I'm blanking on that company's name, but is it?
Yeah, it's not coming to me. But yeah, that's the way to do it, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah. So what's the plot of this one then, Darren? I'm giving you the easy one.
All right. Yeah.
They're both easy, but yeah.
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah. So Hwang Jang-Lee is a hitman and kills people for money. And there's this kind of guild of, local warriors who want to get rid of him because he's killing what seems like indiscriminately. Hey?
Too many people, right?
He's killing too many people. Yeah.
But actually, the kind of weird montage at the beginning of him like collecting gold coins or something.
Yeah, he's just putting gold on this thing, isn't he?
Yeah. And if you're judged by that pile of gold coins, he's killed thousands of people by that.
Exactly. Yeah. So they band together and they get essentially a small army together, about 100 people together, and they go after Hwang Jang-Lee. And Hwang Jang-Lee kills all of them.
Yeah. I don't know if it's 100, Darren. I'd say
no. In the subs, it said 100.
Oh,
it looked
right,
more 50, but in the script, it's 100.
Oh, all right, okay. On screen, I would say it's closer to 25, 30, maybe. But still,
maybe.
They do formations, don't they?
Yeah. So there's this nice little battle, and the choreography is not top notch in this. So you're not getting mad shaped. It's okay. It's not bad. It's fine.
I'll have something to say that about later because I think it's more of a technical issue than but carry on.
Okay. Yeah. So there's this kind of fairly mad battle where you've got with some special effects and wires and stuff. It's like you've got this gang of people with like these silver shields that they throw, and then Hwang Jang-Lee throws them back at them and cuts their throats. And
cool.
Yeah, and there's a bit in the battle where they all get a rope around Hwang Jang-Lee, about 10 people, and then they set fire to the rope.
Oh, that's a bit later on, isn't it? That's
is it?
Yeah, in the opening battle, it's more supernatural because he
because he like blows his chi.
Yeah, like he shoots steam or smoke or something.
Yeah.
Never explained.
No. And that's a reasonably long battle. That's probably 10-15 minute sequence.
Yeah.
And it's nice. But amongst these this guild of people who want to get rid of Hwang Jang-Lee is a very heroic, noble family man with a wife and a son who goes off and gets a few licks in against Hwang Jang-Lee. He's basically the last one standing, but Hwang Jang-Lee kills him.
This is speaking of those names that we hope we'll find out more about. This is Hyun Kil-soo.
Yeah, doing a great job actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he was in. Hang on, was he in Hitman as well? Yeah, he was in Hitman as well.
Oh, was he? Okay, but he had a really good screen presence there. Very
memorable face as well.
Yeah. Did noble very well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he gets killed, and this essentially results in no one knowing what Hwang Jang-Lee looks like because he's basically killed everyone who knows what he looks like as a side effect of this battle that he's won. So the father dies. The wife and child are informed the father has died and has lost the battle. Yeah. But by coincidence, Hwang Jang-Lee stumbles into they actually stumble into Hwang Jang-Lee's pad, who's also a coffin maker who's also a carpenter who makes coffins.
Fastest carpenter in town.
He is, complete with spinny up
things.
Yeah.
I wanted the crossover Hwang Jang-Lee versus Al Cliver.
Yeah.
Carpentry off.
Exactly, yeah. With Harrison Ford as well. I think Harrison Ford is
as a judge, maybe. He's a bit old now.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. We're all a bit old now. Yeah, and it's very. I was thinking spaghetti western when I found out that Hwang Jang-Lee was a coffin
because he's making coffins. Yeah.
There's something Django about that, you know.
Yeah. You half expect someone to, make me 4 coffins, make it 5, or something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It doesn't really fit in. They could have done a bit more with that, the coffins.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so the wife and child are basically thrown out of their home, and they're kind of wandering, kind of destitute. They come across Hwang Jang-Lee's pad that's empty. Then Hwang Jang-Lee stumbles back, kind of dazed and badly wounded, and they end up tending to Hwang Jang-Lee, unaware that he's the villain that's killed the father, killed the noble father and husband.
Right, and there's so the other main character as well. So Hwang Jang-Lee has an accomplice, doesn't he?
All right, yeah.
Kwang Il-soo, who is one of the choreographers of the film, with Kang Yong-chol. They're both in it somewhere. But he's Kwang Il-soo. He's like I don't know if he's a go-between or a broker or something, but he's the only guy left who knows Hwang Jang-Lee's still alive, and he's now being nursed back to health by the mother and the son. Unbeknownst to them, he's the man who killed the father, right? So of course he's gonna train the kid, and eventually the kid. So it's that kind of, we're heading in that direction, right?
Yeah, but unusually for this one, there's no time jump in this.
No.
So under normal circumstances, you'd have Hwang Jang-Lee with black hair, taking, being nursed back to health by the husband of the bloke he's killed and the child, forms this really tender, loving relationship with particularly the child, but also the mother.
Yeah.
Basically falls in love with the kid and becomes his surrogate father, teaches him country, teaches him carpentry, has nice cuddles with him. Platonic, nice, nothing.
Nothing Jimmy Savile about this.
No Gary Glitter here.
Hwang will fix it.
Well, he is a carpenter.
Well, there we go.
Teaches him a bit of carpentry. And then ends up teaching him martial arts so that he can specifically get revenge for his dead father, who pretty soon Hwang Jang-Lee works out who he's training the kid. Who revenge he's training the kid for?
Yes.
Or who he's training the kid to get revenge on. Lots of little skirmishes here and there, because the band of 10 warriors are kind of, they're still out looking for him. They're still trying to get in. They run into the wife and kid a couple of times and get
and like you said, there's that flaming rope formation thing. And there's also another bit where Hwang Jang-Lee uses, he jumps in a river. And he uses
there's like jets,
jets of water, and there's a lot of well, not a lot, but there's like these puncture, because there's another bit as well. I didn't know what the hell was happening. There's one bit where he's fighting, or not him, I think it's Kwang Il-soo is fighting with someone who's got some darts or something, and he throws the darts and they're ineffective, and then he picks something off the ground. I don't know what it is. It's like a rock or something, and he throws it, but it seems to turn into like a laser bolt or something.
Yeah, I couldn't work that out. That was really badly edited, and I couldn't really work out what the hell was going on. But so anyway, it kind of culminates, or in between this, while he's getting to know the son and the wife, the son catches him at his mother's tomb. So he's got a tomb nearby with his mother's coffin in it. Right. And then you get this flashback to where Hwang Jang-Lee and his mother grew up really, really poor, get evicted from their accommodation, and then the evil landlords decide that, well, you can pay your rent, actually. I'm going to rape you for your rent that you owe me, and rapes her to death.
Right.
Hwang Jang-Lee sees it, decides that he's going to cover his mother's coffin in gold.
Yeah.
Because money's all that matters in this world.
Right.
And that brings us back to the scene at the start, the opening credit scene, where Hwang Jang-Lee's plonking blocks of gold onto the thing, which turns out
it's his motivation, it's his origin story, why he...
Yeah, exactly. So you get the backstory of Hwang Jang-Lee. Yeah. And throughout this, you see Hwang Jang-Lee's actually a really good dad to the kid.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, so it all sort of culminates in Hwang Jang-Lee versus all 10 of these 10 warriors, beats them all. Including
a spot of break dancing at some point.
Yes. Yeah, they've all got these different styles, but they're kind of...
One guy spins on his back.
Yeah, it's like...
He doesn't seem to do anything. He just spins around.
Yeah, but it's not kind of... none of it's kind of clearly defined, really. It's just like quirky fighting styles they seem to have made up on the spot. And yeah, anyway, so yeah, and there's that bit with the ropes around him, and they set fire to the ropes, and then he managed to make the fire go back down to them and explodes, and so all sorts of, there's some cool kind of vaguely fantasy elements in it.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lick of sense, but they're all kind of quite cool to see. Even if I've no idea what's going on, and I've no idea even if it's supposed to be like, if they're supposed to be magical warriors, or if they're just harnessing nature in some way, or...
Yeah, I think it's like, their kung fu's so good that they can do some little bit of magic with it. So I think that's the kind of vibe I got.
Yeah, we're almost into 5-element ninja kind of territory.
Yeah. It's that kind of vibe, although nowhere near as well choreographed.
No.
But yeah, and all the while you've got these kind of montage. There's training scenes with the son. So the son has this dummy setup, and he gets given this tiny little trident.
I liked his wooden trident.
I liked it. I wouldn't mind one of them. And it's a bit like, I'll tell you what it looks a bit like. It looks like a toasting fork.
It does. And spoiler alert, I think you'd have a much harder job, especially as a very small boy, killing a large fellow with this wooden trident.
Yeah.
But he does it. Fair play.
And that's it. Yeah, that's it. The finale of the film is Hwang Jang-Lee's identity is finally revealed. The kid is upset, and the wife is upset and angry. And Hwang Jang-Lee finally says to the kid, I decided how I was going to end my life, and I'm giving my life to you. Right. Says, come on then, stab me. Kid stabs him. He cuddles the kid, dies, end.
Yeah. It's an odd one. So first of all, what I wanted to mention about the choreography, I mean, I know what you mean. I wouldn't say it's on a par with Hitman and the Hand of Buddha at all. But I would say the one thing that one of the reasons this film doesn't manage to build up a head of steam during the fight scenes, which I did enjoy, but I think it's to do with the fact that they're almost all like master shots or long shots. Like there's not much in the way of intercutting close-ups and stuff to kind of build up the rhythm of the scene, right? So it's almost as if they're showing off in a way, like, look what we can do without editing. Like, look what we are actually doing on screen.
I know, but it needs editing.
No, it does. I agree with you. It's almost as like meant as a calling card to say, look, we don't need to do that. But that's fine if you're just talking martial arts and skills and choreography. But if you're going to make an entertaining film for audiences, sometimes you do need to sprinkle a bit of movie magic on it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and it's not like there's not movie magic in it anyway, with flaming ropes. And
true. But you know what I mean? Sometimes some scenes seem to play out unusually long in master shots or long shots without any intercutting, and you don't often see that, right?
No. Yeah, fair play. Yeah, and I'm not saying it's shit. I'm not saying the choreography is shit, but it's okay.
Yeah, and lacking extra kind of wizardry to crank it up. What I mean is another way. If they had done it more traditionally, I can imagine that some of these fight scenes would be pepped up somewhat by.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So and I mean, I fucking loved it. This one.
Okay, interesting.
I loved this, and I'll tell you what I loved about it. It really got me with the little kid killing Hwang Jang-Lee
with a trident.
I really got into the drama of it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't moved by it or anything, and I wouldn't say I loved it, but I did very much enjoy it. I mean, there's something in its A to B simplicity that I appreciated. Like, Hitman in the Hand of Buddha is undoubtedly a superior film.
Yeah,
but Canton VIPER is quite. I don't know. I'm very glad I watched it.
Same, yeah. Well, I think it you know, one of the other reasons, apart from sort of the choreography style, is their chalk and cheese. Is that with Hitman and the Hand of Buddha, they only seem to have thought of the action, whereas in this, it's a really thoughtfully written film.
Yeah. It kind of builds a certain. It's got that Greek tragedy kind of shape to it. Yeah,
and it's the I just really got into the narrative. You know, I got into the you know, the ambivalent nature, or you know, the ambivalent nature of Hwang Jang-Lee's character. You know, because who is simultaneously an incredibly savage murderer for not that good a reason, really.
No,
but also someone capable of being, you know, a really good father and husband to these abandoned people.
It was just the right side of, like, some people would maybe complain that you didn't have enough backstory, or you didn't have, but I thought it was just the right side of just giving you just enough, because like you said, it is on that, it's almost like on a mythical plane, right? So it's not, you don't need too much detail, you just need almost ciphers rather than characters. There's no deep characterization.
No,
it's just,
and there was something moving and slightly shocking about a child that small, because this kid would have been what, 6 or 7 years old. It's a little kid. It's a little kid.
Yeah,
just being made to murder, you know, Uncle, I can't remember the character's name, but yeah, you know, that's what he called him, Uncle something, is it Uncle Hwang? Yeah. And yeah, I really got into it. That really got me. I thought they did it incredibly well, just from a narrative standpoint.
Yeah, and it's in and out 76 minutes, so you don't have any chance to get bored with any of it either.
No. You know, and the setup as well. So that final scene is Hwang Jang-Lee decides, all right, the game's up. It's time for me to die. So he carries his mother's coffin that's all studded with these gold bars, you know, across the field. And then he gets stopped by the wife and the kid.
Yeah, and that's when
they puts it down, and then that's the final scene where he gets killed.
I suppose, I mean, for you and me, it's not a problem because we kind of know what we're dealing with and we're kind of used to it. But I suppose for maybe someone coming in who isn't that well versed in, you know, more of a casual viewer, I'm wondering if it might be a bit of a weird, jarring shift, not the tonal shift in terms of not in terms of moods necessarily, but when you are doing a film like this, where it doesn't have any comedy or anything, and it does have this very dramatic storyline to be taken seriously, and then peppered with weird laser bolts and things that you understand why they're there. I wonder if they would throw your average viewer off or not.
I get, I'm trying to put myself back, you know, 25 years or whatever, however long it is, to what I would have thought about it when I was kind of early on in watching these films. And I don't know, I think it probably still would have hooked me, but I wouldn't have given too many fucks about the kung fu, you know?
Right.
I think I would have watched it with in a different headspace, which is, I think, what it did to me today. So I don't think it would be that different. But if you're after Fu and you're after, shapes and you're after top-notch action, this is not quite the film for you.
No, although it doesn't exactly let the cider, but I know what you mean. Its strengths are not entirely based on that, right? No.
But highly recommend. Yeah, I recommend it simply, simply if you want an entertaining hour and a quarter and you're a bit of a soppy sod like I am.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you like miniature tridents.
You can't beat the miniature trident.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Also, I mean, just to kind of take a look at the wider picture. I know we've only got two films that we've seen, but obviously Hwang Jang-Lee, not a bad director as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you can say that the direction in Hitman in the Hand of Buddha is fairly pedestrian, and I think he's leaving a lot of setup around the fights to probably the choreographers, who are masters, all of them masters at their craft.
Right, but still, you still have to have someone.
Yeah. No, it zips along. Yeah. It zips along. It's well paced. Everything's in shot.
Yeah.
There aren't any. There's nothing glaring. So yeah, no, he does a good job on both films, but the latter particularly.
Very curious to see his gangster film.
Yeah.
I feel as if I would quite like to know what's happening. So I might wait and see if some kind of subtitles turns up.
Yeah.
But so the other one, the other thing that popped up while I was researching these two things, and I can't make head nor tail. I wonder if you know what people are on about, because there's no credits for him for this. Some people mention another Hwang Jang-Lee directed film.
Oh, is that Boss or something it's called?
No, although that could be, I think that was the film he made as another Korean gangster film, I think.
Yeah, that's the comeback one, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's The Innocent Interloper.
Oh, I did see that on the list, but I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it.
Yeah, no, it's odd. It's something that's mentioned like only in those few reviews from years ago when people might have been wrong. But yeah, it is often people mention, the other uncredited Hwang Jang-Lee direct, and he is in it.
Yeah.
He's not credited with the choreography, and it's directed by Johnny Wang Lung-wei.
Yes.
Actually, I'm wondering if they haven't got to it yet, because the good folks over
Podcast on Fire are doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're doing a Johnny Wang Lung-wei. Have they got to Innocent Interloper yet? I can't remember.
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention, to be honest.
Okay, so maybe they know. Maybe they've already covered it. So, but I'll be watching Innocent Interloper, I think, and then because I try and watch along with what they do anyway, because I like the show and I like seeing the film before listening to the podcast. So apologies if Kenny B and Co have already mentioned, worked this out, but it's just something that I noticed that popped up. But then there's nothing official as far, even on the Korean movie. But then again, it wouldn't be on the Korean movie because it's not a Korean film. But so I don't know about that.
Okay.
Maybe we should all head over to Podcast on Fire and listen to what they have to say about it, if they've done it yet. But even if they haven't, I'm pretty sure they will be doing it soon. Yeah.
Podcast on Fire, yet another worthy shout out, I think.
Yes. You should definitely listen to them. And JJ Hayden, get in touch. We like what you're doing. So
most definitely. Yeah, cool.
Right then.
Well, that wraps us up then, does it?
I think so.
Yeah. So
until next time. Goes. Nothing amusing or witty to say.
No. We wish you a happy toasting fork.
We wish you a happy toasting fork. Wish you a happy toasting fork. Wish you a happy toasting fork with which to kill your adopted father who killed your dad before.
Voice of an angel.
Face of a Trump.